Welcome back to our conversation with Matt Murphy, the State House News Service, and Katie Lannan of GBH News. All right, big stories to keep an eye on in 2023. You lead off here, Matt.
Yeah, we've been reading for, almost a couple of years now about the glut of money that Beacon Hill has to spend, both coming in tax revenues, the federal stimulus coming in, the transportation infrastructure bill from Congress. I think it'll be interesting going forward to see if the legislature and now the new Governor Maura Healey stick with what they've been doing, which is kind of trying to appease all audiences, spreading this money around, investing on the edges, I think you could argue, or if they pick a lane and really try to do something big and transformative. And I might be a little biased here, but we heard Governor-elect Healey talk about child care on the campaign trail, proposing tax credits and others. This is one place where it can cost as much as sending a kid to college to have a kid in daycare. Do they go big there? And if not there, maybe somewhere else, maybe in the transportation sector or somewhere else. I know there's a lot of this is one-time money, so there's a hesitancy there, but I think this is something to watch going forward.
Great point. Those will be big decisions. What have you got, Katie?
Well, I've been talking to advocates and experts about kind of what they're hoping to see Maura Healey do, particularly with all this pile of money that's been sitting around. And one of the issues almost across the board people bring up is workforce shortages and staffing problems. Yeah. And that's in transit. We've seen it affect the T and the way they're able to run buses. That's in healthcare, where it's affecting the care that people are able to receive. It's in early education and child care. It's even in municipal governments are having a hard time, filling roles like assessor or water plant operators. So I'm not sure how those kind of overlapping and intersecting issues all get addressed, what the state can do, but I think it's definitely something to watch in the year ahead.
Yeah, what do you do? I mean, you can try to throw money at it, but there's a limit to that, and the private sector, many sectors are experiencing the same problem. So, we'll be looking for some innovative solutions from our new governor, right?
Yeah, I think so. And, a lot of people kind of, said, oh, another commission here, but we had a lot of discussion about these future of work commissions that were created. The legislature, the governor did his own study. But I think another big story to look for is, can government do anything about what's happened to these downtowns and with the workforce shortages? Just people have changed the way they operate, even as we've come back from the pandemic, gone back to some sense of normalcy. Right. These downtowns have been gutted. Office space is going vacant. These businesses that thrive on foot traffic, it hasn't come back. So, what can be done about this, and what are leaders like Michelle Wu and others going to do? Well,
funny how all three of us, in looking ahead to the new year, came up with money-related issues. Mine is what's going to happen with Proposition 2.5. Now, you got this big victory for Question 1, the millionaire's tax fair share amendment. That was a big win for the teacher unions and other public employee unions who funded it and worked on the campaign. But the big enchilada for them is relieving the tax limitation that Prop 2.5 represents. It's been sacrosanct since it was passed back in 1980. I'm wondering if we're going to see a more aggressive move on Beacon Hill to tinker with that. What do you think?
I think it's an interesting timing to have the defenders of that group, Citizens for Limited Taxation,
folding
and pass the torch to another group, Mass Fiscal Alliance, which does not have a good kind of relationship with the legislature. They're often criticizing the legislature. Lawmakers have passed or advanced measures trying to force Mass Fiscal to disclose their donors. So I think that'll be an interesting point of friction there.
Money makes the world go round, right, including Beacon Hill. And luckily, we have ace reporters like you two to help keep us informed. We really appreciate you coming on and sharing your insights. Thanks, Katie. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks for having us, John.
Thank you. Happy New Year.